What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? It's your man Lucky. I'm back with another one. I hope everybody's doing good. Listen, if you've never been here before, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I appreciate the support. Do me a favor, hit the like button as you come onto the stream. And that'll help the algorithm trigger it out, send it out to more people. All right, so look, I'm gonna just get right into it. First of all, if anybody's in the chat, do me a favor, hit a one, put a one in the chat if you can see me and you can hear me clearly. I got some technical difficulties that I had in the beginning, as I always do, but I think I got it all taken care of. So just let me know in the chat. Put a one in the chat if you can see me and you can hear me clearly. So with that being said, I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna be talking about prearranged marriage, right? So I had a conversation the other day recording content for somebody, and he brought up prearranged marriage. And so I just want to know everybody's thought. Man, what do y'all think? Do you think prearranged marriages work out better than marriages where, the individuals are picking each other? What's your thoughts on that?
Ladies first.
Okay, well, I just have I think that traditional so according to, the states and, the Americas, how we choose to get married is trying to get to know one another. I think it's better that way because you're doing the steps to find out if you want to get married to this person versus the prearranged marriage. You don't know that person. You don't know what they're about. And for me, that just doesn't make I can do. I don't know if I could do it. But culturally, you know what I'm saying? If you have to do it cuz it's a cultural thing, I get it.
Okay.
Well, well, honestly, I don't be honest. It's kind of hard growing up the way we grew up in the Western side of society versus a cultural side that it's always been that way. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be as different or odd to me if we grew up in that. You were expecting it, your mother and grandmother be setting it up way before. So you get a chance to see the girl, but you don't get to interact with her until, like I said, I think that was India. They have this woman that she's the matchmaker. She makes sure they meet up and talk and spend time together before they get married and things. But like I said, it's a lot to go into that.
But let me ask you a question. Don't you believe that at the beginning of any relationship you're on your best behavior?
Of course.
Right. So then I'm saying they're setting you up with somebody and they're on their best behavior. You spend what, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, whatever how many days they require.
But see, that's because they looking at it as a business. They don't look
But
at
isn't marriage a business anyway?
yeah, and that's how they
Whether it be that way
we
or
don't look at it. We
traditional?
look at it as love. A lot of people look
Yeah.
at it as love on our society, but they look at it as business because these people they setting up, they have careers. They're not setting up bomb kids. The guy will be most likely the guy because the guy's gonna be basically taking care of everything. So the guy's gonna be really wealthy. And so the lady gonna come in with more of the motherly type thing. It's like I say, it's real traditional, but a lot of women are fading away from that because of the feminism and the Western society. But it comes back to bite them in the butt if they don't marry out because they come back to their culture. They don't want to leave their culture, really, their country. And you try to live a Western side, a Western society type lifestyle. And it's not going to work because, like I said, they get to certain ages. These guys are not wanting to marry them now. So you got women 34, 33, all this, then aged out with a lot of these guys. They don't want to marry them. And so it's like I said, it's just a business with them. They fall in love after they get everything situated.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
with that being said, do you think that marriage for outside of, the West, it's more about building a legacy. You know what I mean? It's not about personal feelings. It's more about building that legacy, building, you know what I'm saying? That family, like, okay, I'm gonna
oh yeah,
work, I'm gonna
yeah,
this and
building
that,
an empire.
and
Yeah,
we're gonna come
building an
together and we're going to build this. It's not about oh, you hurt my feelings, or now we gotta break up because you said something I don't like, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's none of that. It's like, yo, listen, this is a business. It's kind of like when you go to a job, whether you like your boss or not, you're gonna follow instructions. You're gonna do
Right.
whatever it is that you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And get that
Keep your
paper.
job, right.
Ain't no
So
feelings
that's
involved.
it.
Right.
So, you're coming into it like with the arranged marriage, you're coming in just with the understanding that, like, listen, we here to build a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Forget about all of that. Yeah, all of that, all of the fluff. This is our name, and this is the legacy that we're gonna build. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have a business. The kids are gonna work in the business. It's gonna be a family business. This business was passed down from granddad down to
Exactly.
mom, and or dad, and then from dad to me, and then now for my kids, and and so their concept is really about just building a legacy, not about how I feel. You know what I'm saying, or how you look, or
Lucky, they also push their kids to be in certain careers: engineers, doctors, dentists, those higher paying jobs. They don't just send them to school for anything because they looking at what's going to pay and what you need to be making to support a family, and like you said, and grow this family until Lex have your kids, take care of your kids, send them to these different type of schools. They have a whole plan laid out, man.
So if that be the case, what you just said,
Mhm.
why would the female be against, or like you said, they're like pulling away, they don't want to do that? Because I just feel like, as a female, if someone comes it, and I'm not of the culture of their culture, so it's beneficial if you're saying we're doing it for a legacy. If if your parent and his parent, or however it goes, I don't know, right? um if it's about legacy, why do you think that it's not a good idea? Why do you think they're pulling out? You understand what I'm saying? Is it, you kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. I think basically is that women make it look fun over here to be out and partying and dating and doing all this stuff, not knowing the real repercussions behind that. If you stay out there too long, it's gonna be hard to find a husband and this type of thing. So they look at all these women, they doing all this stuff and
But
they
you're not thinking
want to
that
be on
they
their own.
already know that there's a certain time limit already?
No, they don't.
You don't think so? Because
No.
I mean,
Oh,
if
in
you're
their
telling me
culture, they
they're
do.
saying, okay, 26, 25, that's the cutoff
Yeah,
time.
they know
uh,
because their mothers tell them.
and that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I'm saying to you.
right. They are.
So they're out here from 21 to 24, out here in the States, seeing what people do, and they seeing it's not working. So
No,
you're
they're in their
saying that
country.
by the time they turn 25, is over, or can they go back home and try to still get this marriage with this person? That's what I'm saying. No?
No,
I don't
Once
think
it's
there's no
over, it's
going back
over?
home. I mean,
no,
I
no,
There
don't
ain't
think
no
so.
going back home.
I think
no.
it's, look, listen, that's what you wanted to
When
do.
they
So
when
stay
they
out there.
rebel when they
You know,
rebel so far out, that guy no longer is in the deal with the family to marry her because he see her lifestyle now. She out here sleeping with a bunch of men. He don't want to bring her and talking about that's gonna be my wife. When she's on social media talking about doing all this stuff, and they know her history, they know it. They're not gonna because they want a clean, good look. They want a woman. They don't want to
They're
know that
looking for a virgin.
not a virgin, but they looking for a woman with a little more virtue to her.
Okay.
You know, she
So she
don't need to
not
be.
wild and out there.
Yeah, yeah, carrying yourself well and all. They know she might date here and there, but they don't want somebody to come in and be the mother of their child that's been out here doing it up with each and every person they can think of, and then come back home and try to be this wholesome woman. They're not gonna look at it the same like that. So that's why they have all this stuff in place so the woman doesn't go out and start doing her thing. Because most of these guys still live at home with their moms. That's the culture. And they have everything set up for them. They get ready to marry, they have a house for them, they have everything set up for these people. And so when they marry into something. So the woman ain't like they ain't like one of these what you bring to the table type of shit. You coming into everything already established. So I don't know why they wouldn't, other than they're not in love with the guy, they got to get to know the guy in that type of scenario. But other than that,
It sounds like a good idea to me.
that's what I'm saying. I figured that shit out, right? You know what
No,
I'm saying? Like
seriously. I'm
I
like,
figured that
"Yo,
shit out.
Imma be set up."
These guys, these
Yeah,
people, these guys
straight
have
up. All you
potential
gotta do is
careers. Yeah,
follow some rules. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And maybe the rules are a little bit I mean, I just I can't conceive that somebody just wouldn't want that if you it just don't seem right to me.
Investment is always
I
good.
guess, everybody some people just want what they want when they want it, and you know what I'm saying? That's
And
it.
it's not like they set them up with an ugly duckling either, so they kinda match up everything.
Yo,
That's what
money
that
says a
label
lot.
is.
That's what I'm saying, like, you're
Yeah,
setting me up completely. That's
yeah,
my life is gonna be set up. So why wouldn't you want that? You probably don't have to work, you know what I'm saying? You just stay home and, take care of him and whatever kids you have.
that's
I
it.
don't see
Same
that
thing.
being a problem.
And the crazy thing, the woman runs the house. The woman runs the house. So whatever goes in that house, that shit happens in most of the cases. And so I don't understand. But like I said, they look at the Western side and all this feminism that they thinking, oh, empowerment and all this, and nobody tell me what to do
It's
type
overrated.
mentality. Right. They don't never get to see
For
how
real,
these
it's
people later
overrated.
on by themselves
It's overrated.
struggling, the main one I always say Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox talked about women don't need this, don't need that. Now she's 60 some years old, talking about she on somebody else show, talking about she looking for a husband, then go get a BBL. Like, come on.
She looks awful.
Look a damn
You
ass
ain't even
60
her
year old with a BBL trying to hang now. That what happens though. But a couple years ago, she was telling all these young women, don't worry about getting involved in
I
nobody.
mean,
Get your
women do
money,
that.
get your
Women
career.
for some reason, especially
Yeah,
famous women, and I'm not. I don't want to go off topic, but it's the same thing like with Monique. It's okay to be big, and then
until
she loses weight, and she has this
yeah.
issue with big women. You
What's
understand what I'm saying? So it's just I don't
what's
know.
the girl, the other star?
Lizzo.
Lizzo did the
Yeah,
same
I
thing.
see they
I
going
told my
in.
wife when she came, I said, in about 2 years, I said, "Give me about 2 and a
Yeah.
half years, she'll be losing weight." I said, "I guarantee you, 'cause she's gonna have all that money."
Like you said, you seen that from her coming in.
Yeah,
Who, Lizzo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I saw it coming in, but I didn't think it was gonna last for a long time.
being big.
I didn't like yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't think
yeah, 'cause
that
they wanna date up, you know what I'm saying? So they wanna get smaller so they can date up and date better. Because 'cause you'll see a lot of them women that stay big, they'll be married to somebody you ain't never heard of. It'd be a regular dude. They don't be somebody that just in the same, genre as them or whatever. Be some dude, some plain ass dude that they paying for. Just cause he love them, they gonna take care of him. But yeah, Lizzo wasn't getting all these dudes. She wanting Drake and damn, not Tom Cruise, but the other guy.
Leonardo?
No,
That's
no,
that
the
one.
one that played Troy.
Oh, uh,
I don't know. I don't be watching all that stuff, man.
uh,
Yeah. What's
uh,
his name? God dog, I can't.
Wolverine. He's Wolverine, right? That's that one?
No, no, it ain't Wolverine. It'll come to me a little bit.
It don't matter.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
but he's an actor that Jolie girl was married to him. Was it Angelina Jolie? She was married to him. They had all them kids.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, yeah. She was wanting him at one time. Like, come on, girl. And he was just
oh, you
he was
took oh
entertaining,
yeah,
like trying to be nice.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think what'll happen is at some point in time reality will set in. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be like,
yeah.
everybody's telling you, oh yeah, this, that, yeah, oh yeah, you could do this, you could do that, you can get away with this, blah blah blah. But then when you really get out there and like, yo, it's really not like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
I thought it was going to be one thing, and it's really something different. So let me ask you this: with and I don't know all the technical aspects of arranged marriages and stuff like that, but what do you think like the divorce rate is like? Let's just say if there is the ability to divorce, right? I don't know the culture, and it's just like, look, once y'all together, y'all stay together, and that's just it. But let's just say if divorce was an option, do you think that the divorce rate for arranged marriages would be similar to what the divorce rate is for what I'm saying, like
Oh, we
Western,
have the highest
um,
divorce
you know,
rate in any country. Um,
or do you,
I don't even think it matches up to what we got going on because like I said, um, the woman so for in the Western over here in the States or whatever, most of the time you divorcing over he can't take care of me. He's not he was doing what he was supposed to be doing in the beginning, and now he's not taking care of me. Whether that be and 9 times out of 10 is financials, right?
Right.
And so I'm saying it's if she's being taken care of.
So is that the leading cause for divorce? Like
It
the
used
man
to
is
be. I
not
don't know about
providing?
at one time. It was financials was the top one, then cheating.
Okay,
But
but was it because the man couldn't afford to take care of the woman, or was it because the woman so I think there's a difference between a man not being able to take care of the woman versus a woman just wanting, you know what I'm saying, more and more and more and more, right? Like a man
right,
based on what he makes. Listen, I could provide the home, I could provide the food, I could provide the vehicle, I can provide that, but you want all of the extra this and extra that and all of that. So now the woman feels like, oh, he's not providing. And it's not that he's not providing, it's just that you want more. Like, so is it him that's not meeting, you know what I'm saying? His obligation,
So
or is
here's
she
my
just not meeting more?
expectations. Here's my expectations as a woman. Um you as a man are providing the necessities, right? So for me, in my situation, my extras is what I take care of. So if I want to go get my nails done, want to go get my hair done, all them things are on me.
right,
Every part of that is on me, because before you and I got together, even so, I was providing for myself. I was paying my own bills and stuff like that. But when we get together, you're one of the wins for you is that I'm going to provide you with a place um to stay. You're going to have food, you know what I'm saying? But I might not be able to provide excuse me, provide the extras. So if I go to work and provide the extras, and also because there's a lot of men out here that don't want you to contribute to the household, right? But I prefer to contribute to the household. But there's a lot of men that don't like that. So I mean, you got to have some type of understanding for, in my opinion. So I'm cool with if you provide the basics, right? The necessities and all the extras is on me. I'm good with that. It's on me anyway. Unless you be like, "Yo, take this money here, go get your nails done."
right.
But for me, I my habits, the things I like to do, I that's not your responsibility.
So do you think that's the same sentiment across the board with most, with the majority of women?
No,
Or
No,
no. There's a large percentage that wants you to do everything for them.
right.
so
They
let's
added that up as a thing you should. Their upkeep is now your bill.
Your
Upkeep
responsibility.
is like $1,500 to $2,000 a month just for their hair, nails, and all this. Added on to whatever you have. Like
What
she said,
added on to
you
the
to handle
bills
that
that
on
you
your
already
own.
taken
Yeah,
care of.
yeah. I expect you to handle that on your own upkeep. You know, but that this things are changing, man. Things are changing, and that's why people not getting married and staying married. You know,
wow. So you got to
but
provide and you got to maintain the upkeep and
No,
you
but
got to
but no. But see, this is the thing. You gotta have an understanding. So if you choose, if you have had that conversation with her and she's telling you this is what she wants from you. See, I'm all about having the communication in the beginning. And then I'm all about that. What is it going to take to keep this relationship together? You understand what I'm saying? And if you're telling if someone comes up, of course, if I come to you and be like, yo, I need you to give me $400 a month in nails, and then I still need to get my hair wash, but I still want to go buy clothes,
right.
that's not going to work for nobody. So that's the problem. Nobody's saying what they want until they want it.
Okay, so what about situations where, because I do believe that there are situations where people start off wanting one thing, they start out wanting one thing, and then they say one thing, and then things change down the line.
I agree.
You understand what I'm saying?
Thing
So
is,
it's like,
it's all everybody wants though, and not needs.
right.
So the needs is what the man is taking care of. The
Absolutely.
wants is what she's wanting, and she's ready to go and ruin a whole family to go get these wants from somebody else. And
So
that's
wants.
and that's
Chasing the
what
bag.
right, and
So
that's
that's
what's
the that's
doing
the that's the word today, chasing the bag.
yeah.
But
So
what
you
you
want
chasing it
if somebody
when
can
you
buy
got somebody
emotional clothes.
providing for you?
Yeah, but you got a solid dude here that's gonna take care of you. I've
Absolutely.
seen a couple of videos, man, recently where they had the communication going into the marriage where she was gonna be a stay-at-home mom, he was gonna provide everything. She, decides all of a sudden 2 or 3 years in, "I don't wanna do this anymore," and go get her degree and divorce the husband, and now she's on
Mm,
another site looking for a husband. You see what I'm saying? So she gave up until she got in the reality of, "Okay, so now you paying for all this stuff on your own." Now you see, well, I should have stayed over there because see, you got women out here saying, shit, I wish I had somebody that would just tell me something like that because they already been through that fire. They done had to pay these bills by themselves. And now they got somebody, but somebody who ain't never had it, they get it and they
It's a
think,
lot of females out here just
yeah,
crazy too, 'cause they want you to pay everything. They just want you to be able to provide every and anything for them, and what are they doing? Just sitting on their hands. I
right.
don't understand that. I
But
mean,
the
it's a
thing they
different
want you
time
to
too,
buy is
so
bullshit though. You know, it's BS. Everything they want you to buy is some BS. Ain't nothing that's gonna contribute later on down the line to, like you say, to the legacy of the family. None of it. It's a month-to-month thing.
it's a day-to-day thing. Because
I think
I it
yeah, 'cause
for
you
real,
take your
for
eyelashes
real.
off your nails, yeah.
Even me, like, you know, I break my nail today. When I get off work tomorrow, I'm going to the nail shop, but
Right.
I'm going on my own dime. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not asking nobody. My habits, I smoke, I drink, I like to go get my
oh
nails
my
done.
god.
Uh-oh. Party time, party
I'm talking about cigarettes, y'all. So but I'm just saying, like, those are the things that I can't go, "Yo, Lucky, I need you to go get me a pack of cigarettes." You don't even smoke.
Mm,
That's kind of the one of the things I say. You don't smoke, you don't drink, but I smoke and I drink, but Imma send you to the store to go get the stuff that I want,
right.
my habits. No, that don't make sense to me. Give me $200 to go to the nail shop because I done broke my nail. No, 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 no.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but to go back,
interesting.
look on those stats, if you look at a country like India, divorce rate is 1%, where the
Wow.
US is sitting around 45%.
No. Nah, hold
Yeah,
up.
no shit.
Hold up. Hold up.
It's the
What
lowest divorce rate in the world in India, and they have prearranged marriages. Ain't that
so 1%. Okay, so if the divorce rate is 1%, that does mean that there is the ability to divorce,
oh,
right?
yeah, 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 you can
So they
divorce. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
wow, okay.
Yeah. It's not that you can't divorce. It just shit, they ain't trying to divorce. I mean,
But you know,
1% is like saying
maybe maybe like in that culture though, right? You know, and I think we talked about it one time on another show where we talked about your your first spouse is your only spouse. So like when you're remarrying, if your original, you know what I'm saying, if your first spouse is still
what that's under what, Christianity? They're not under Christianity.
right, but maybe whatever it is that they're under, maybe there's something, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's something similar to that where, you know, it's one and done. Maybe once you divorce, you can't remarry or something like that.
Well, but the thing in the States, they don't even count that. So they don't, in the religious world, they count it, but regular in United States, they don't look at if you marry and divorce and your wife's still alive, your ex-wife's still alive, you still married to her. They don't look at it. They just move on.
Right.
So
Right.
those
But I mean maybe over there where they do the arranged marriages, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a thing. Like, oh, hold up, you belong to such and such. So you know what I'm saying? Like you done.
So
You know
you
what I'm
sound like
saying? You
polygamy.
done.
I think they be dead on it though. If you get a divorce, you just cut.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Right.
Like,
But yeah, because they so strict about getting married. So I
right.
think you divorce, I think you kind of shun, you know what I'm saying? I think you get looked down
Yeah,
on divorce if it's
yeah,
that
yeah.
serious. You know what I mean? because they go
Yeah.
through a lot, man. They had us watching this series over and over because it was so intriguing how the process was. Like I said, they go see some kind of astrologist. He whatever that dude was doing, man,
Right.
that it was making sense. It was happening. And so I don't like in the States, it was like you a this or that, but that dude had a chart. He was doing all this shit. He told people you can get married between these 2 dates. You get married after that, that marriage gonna fail. That what he
Wow.
said, you gotta
Wow.
get married between these 2 dates or wait till next year. That's what he would tell them.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was, and they followed what that man tell them too. Whatever that
Yeah.
man say, they do
Yeah,
it.
once that's your culture and that's all you know, it's just kind of like that's how you
Right.
going. You know what I'm saying? That's how you gonna rock. So yeah,
See,
it makes
we got
sense.
so
Man.
many
It makes
different
sense.
people here, and the cultures are so different. It's just hard to people have a solid thing, man. They'll cross over in a heartbeat and go after somebody else's culture, and who knows
Do,
what.
let me ask you a question. Do you think that should be a thing? Like if I
Right.
want to get married, and then the woman that I want to get married to, somebody has to sign off on it. Like somebody real, not just a judge signing a marriage license. But I mean, somebody from my family saying that. I, the typical who's going to give this person away at the wedding, but the
Right.
paperwork is already signed. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I want to marry somebody on my end, maybe one of my parents, one of her parents, have to sign off on it saying that, yo, I
That's
bless
crazy you
that.
said that because they do. The parents have to agree on it before they can do
Yeah.
it. So I mean, maybe it would help, but a lot of people ain't with their parents like that though. You got here fighting with their parents like damn the neighbor. So you know what I'm saying?
But the person that's fighting with their kid or their parent, whatever, they're not looking to get married.
They'll get married.
Oh hell no! Oh
They-
hell no! Because there's nobody that's gonna marry that person. Not really. It ain't gonna last. I'm gonna tell you, it's not gonna last.
It may not
Something I
last, but
something
they'll
I've
jump up and
said.
do it.
Something I've said. Um, to my children, I have you have a close knit relationship with your kids, and so my daughter, she good for calling me every damn day. And I told her, I said, you need to get with somebody that has a relationship with their parents, so they
Okay.
understand the relationship you and I have, right?
Right.
Well, guess what?
Got with
She
somebody.
didn't. She totally opposite of her.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't work. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're gonna get married, but it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna last.
Right.
It's not going to last.
Yeah. It makes a big difference to have some
It
good
does.
family
So
back.
I mean, I hear what Lucky's saying, talking about somebody should sign off on it. That's a great idea. You know what I'm saying? But then
I
is
think at
that
a
going
certain age, maybe at a certain age, somebody should. And maybe that stops all these people jumping up and getting married to knuckleheads and people that shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe after 26.
yeah, maybe I wouldn't be wife number 5. How
Yeah,
about
up
that?
to 6. Yeah, up to 26, somebody.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they
Yes.
are some.
Because for me, he was husband number 1, but for him, I was wife number 5.
Good
Do
God.
you hear what I'm
Did you know
saying?
that? Did you know you was number 4? I mean, 4 was already gone? Did you already?
No, that's what I'm saying.
You didn't know he had been married 4 times? Or
No, I knew he had been married prior.
but not 4, not prior.
Hell no, not 4. Not make me number 5.
Hey, look, I'm about to push all my damn buttons over here. God
Everything.
Yo, seriously. Seriously.
damn.
Wow.
Yo, that's a beating. You wanna
But
be
you know what?
married
You're right.
5
Somebody
times?
would have pointed that out and you wanna be wife
Yeah,
number 5,
it probably would've deterred me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Now with kids with him like that too, or he
He
had
has
kids?
one no, do I have kids with him?
No, did he have kids with the other wives?
He had 1 child.
Well, that wasn't too bad out of 4. Did y'all have any?
Hell no.
Yo, that's crazy.
Hell no now. You right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I hell no now.
Hey,
because
listen.
because I'm on the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? Could you
How
imagine?
old were you when you did this?
17 years ago.
Hey, I got a question. Do they have
How
like
old
a
you about 40. No, you
Right
about
now,
35. You say you're 57,
I'm
right?
57.
So that's be 47. You were still too damn old. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
get it.
still
I
too
get
old.
it. I shoulda
Yeah.
knew better, right?
Yeah.
I
He
didn't.
had
I
to. He
did it. I did
banged
it.
on you. Hey,
And
look,
and let me tell you, and this gonna sound bad, but this is the reality of it. I got married and I didn't meet any of his family.
wow.
I didn't know none of his family, but he knew all my family. So I didn't even know traits or nothing about him. You understand? Like we was dating for a while, but I didn't know his family still. So,
He had
you
you
don't
locked
really
and
know
loaded.
somebody until they're around their people, and you kinda get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah,
So none
that's
of the people
crazy.
told
But
you he had
anyway, I
ex-wives?
mean,
No other.
lucky I can see the expression on your face,
Yeah, he
like,
ready. He
I'm
ready to get you. I
yeah,
want to. Yeah, look, you gotta say.
Nah, go ahead.
Can't let me.
No,
You
I,
gotta say.
I was just gonna ask, like, you didn't check the Carfax?
I
Like, you didn't
didn't.
check to see, like,
No, I
is
didn't, for real. I
there
felt
like a
like
database?
and okay, so it's funny that you say what you said about, age. I felt like my time was slipping real fast.
Getting too
I know
age
it's bad
now.
to say, but I mean, I'm just trying to be truthful, right? I was up there in age, and like I said, I had already had my children. I never been married, and I was like, "Yo, I wanna be married."
I hear that a lot. Women hit about 35, 37. I hear that a
Yeah,
lot.
I mean, I was like, "I don't wanna die by myself," and I had that mindset. But I mean, hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, but you weren't
No,
married.
I didn't check the Carfax. I didn't. That's crazy, yo.
That joint had 4 other wives. Like, damn.
Yes.
You wouldn't have found the out of the unicorn. She wouldn't have found a damn. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is
That is
crazy.
wow. Wow.
But then what I found out, so, speaking about divorces and stuff, so one was 2 years, one was 1 year, and so, by the time you get to wife number 5 and year 5 passed and year 6 and year 7, you like, "Oh, this is really working, right?"
Mm.
So, you kinda get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you thinking maybe now he got it right, it's working with you too?
Right.
So y'all was together
Well,
about 7 years?
Hell, 5 is that's too long to get it right, man. 5.
Shit,
But
I guess
not
he gonna keep
knowing,
trying.
not
Knowing him, he
knowing.
gonna keep trying till
Hey,
he did get it right the
hey,
way it seemed.
hey, Mr. Nobody, what they say now, body count matter, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
For
she
a
couldn't
man
count
or
nobody.
Body
or for a woman?
Nah, I'm just saying,
You
I
couldn't
guess
count
across
that.
the
That was
board,
he
body
couldn't
count
divide.
matter. He can't pair bond, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
Right.
you know what I
no,
Yeah,
mean?
but then,
something
I mean,
wrong.
like I said, hindsight is 2020. Because at the end of the day, I am getting a divorce.
Okay.
Mm.
So,
Damn, 5 though. Number 5.
yeah.
So he
So he working on wife number 6, just to put it
girlfriend
out
number
there.
That's what
6.
yeah. Yeah, he got to be married. He got to have but hey, but he got a trick. He know what to do. And they
Yeah,
say I do, and he gone to the next.
Yeah,
But wife number
wow.
5, you working on number 6.
yeah.
But the
It's
young
cool,
lady just gonna be oblivious to it and marry him with 5
Yeah,
ex-wives.
that's
because if I say anything, I'm the angry wife, I'm jealous,
Right.
and that's kind of the stuff that happens because Um, you can't tell me nothing about him because I know him. You understand what I'm saying? That's how females' brain work. Instead of yeah, they should be somebody to sign that paper. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because your experience could be like, okay, because I look at all my past relationships, I use that as like a experience. Like I tell people, you call it trauma, I call it life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I look at everything from a relationship. I take what I can from it to be better and move on. And I
There's
make
a
sure my sons don't do that shit. I was like, look, this is what happened with me. You don't need to go through this.
but
Do
this
this.
is the thing, when you on the outside and you're not going through that anymore, it's easy to say that. But when you're going through it,
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Oh, absolutely.
you got to also remember that females are so damn emotional.
Yes, we know
You
that.
can't just not leave that like, we not emotional. You understand what I'm saying? "Oh, we hurt. Oh, this, oh, that." Well, the man is like just he
Yeah.
still walking. He ain't nothing is bothering him, but the female over there crying. You understand what I'm saying? You just don't make
You
no
know
sense,
why?
but
And I'm
go ahead.
telling you why. Because another female is always waiting. That's why. That's why
Nah,
we
but
get married.
women
We
say
get
they got
married. We
women
damn
say they got more options. Women believe that they have more options.
I don't believe that, though.
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I don't
always
either, but I hear guys say it. I don't understand where they come up with that, but you know, that's what they say. I think I guess it depends on the option that you're talking about. You
I was
know,
about to say that, yeah.
I guess it depends on what option you're talking about.
I believe it's
But
what
marriage,
outcome you're trying to
men got more.
have at the end of the day. You kinda get what I'm saying? I mean, do you wanna be divorced? I mean, do you wanna get married to get divorced? Not really, right? But it does happen. You know what I'm
You know, a
saying?
lot of young girls now are it's been put in their head so bad. I don't know who doing it, but they already have the fear of divorce before they meet anybody. So they'll
That's
tell
crazy.
you about divorce before they talk to you about
That's
marriage.
crazy.
And it's like, so where y'all get this mentality because nobody's
People
married in
would
your
tell
family.
you.
You know what I mean? All your aunties and all this, everybody's single. But if you talk to them, all they talk about is people getting divorced. My friend got divorced, my this and this. And I asked this one lady, I said, so you don't have any friends that's married, happily in a marriage? She said, yes. I said, but you never talk about it. You always talk about somebody's divorce that somebody told you about. Did you ever sit down with them and ask them how they make their marriage work? And she said, no. I said, that's the problem. You talk to too many people telling you that it won't work versus talking to the ones who have made it work. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people they roll with the negative
They
of
roll
marriage.
with the fear. The fear. Most people
Yeah,
are just fear based.
they already
Period.
have the fear from their
Yeah.
aunties, their grandmothers, and everybody done told them, just like a man gonna leave you. But if you smart, think about it. If a man leave you when you married, you can get alimony. You get this. You get options through the courts. Yeah, if you've been dating a man for 17 years and never got married, and he leave you, you just get the damn couch. You know, that's it. You don't think you're not obligated. You don't get shit. That common law is only in the hood. Let's be real.
But this the thing. This the thing. At
You
the
know?
end of the day, let's just be real. You get alimony, but that's not you don't get married to get divorced. I said it
Right.
in the
That's what
beginning.
I'm saying. Yeah,
You know
you
what I'm
don't.
saying? And I'm not mad at you because you have a successful marriage. And that's women are bitter. You understand what I'm saying? They're bitter. They see you happy or whatever, and they try to throw a monkey wrench because of
Well,
whatever their situation is. So they trying to throw a monkey wrench in your stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad because you happily married or whatever. But there's females out there,
Let,
yo, this dude did this to me, and I'm finna do it to all the rest of the men, and even men that are married, they bite. And she ain't not doing trying to do nothing but,
let me ask you this, right? Question. When it comes to marriage, right? Quantity versus quality. What do you think is better? A a 15-year marriage that was shaky throughout the 15 years, or a marriage that was strong for 5? You know
I
what I'm
picked
saying?
the latter.
Which one do you think is better? Both of them ended up, let's say ended in divorce. But which one do you think is better? Like a marriage that was 15 years, you know what I'm saying? But it was just up and down. You had a good year here, a bad year here, maybe a 2-year run that was good right here, and then it was crazy for the next year, or just a good five
Solid
good
years.
years, 5 solid years, and then it went to trash. Which one do you think is better?
I picked the 5 years, and Imma
The
tell you
5 good
why.
years.
Imma tell you why. Because if you got a chance to do other things, you invest time is wasted. You can invest that the rest of them years, I'm sorry, into something else. You know what I'm saying? You just wasting time.
yeah. A lot of people know they should be out their marriage and they stay in the next 6, 7 years. When it was over, it's over. I mean, when y'all fighting all the time and all this and that, you no need to go to 15 years and you only had 4 of them good years. When you could, like you say, but you had 5 good years with this person. But out of 15 or 16 years, I only had 3 good years or 4 years out of it. And you wasted, you know what I'm saying, 11 good years.
So let me ask you this. Do you think the divorce rate would be higher if people, married couples that really were not happy would have gotten out of, you know what I'm saying, the marriage? Do you think the divorce rate would actually be higher than what it is?
Well, to be honest, Lucky, man, if they take the word happy out of it, I think it'll last. Because everybody, for some
Yeah, I
reason,
think a lot of people are just looking for happiness.
yeah,
Yeah, I
they think
got you.
your partner is supposed to keep you
Supposed to
happy.
make you happy. I
Right.
agree. Yeah.
And that's not the case. You have to figure out things to do in your marriage. Like what I tell my wife and stuff, you need to get a hobby. You need to find some things going on. I can't entertain you 24/7. You sit here saying, I'm bored. And that's what a lot of us say. I'm bored at home. It's like, why are you bored? Well, he didn't want to do nothing. Then get your ass and go do something. Go hang out. Go figure out something. Go find yourself something to do. You're not supposed to sit around and hope your partner is going to come home and entertain you. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And they talk, I ain't happy. Why are you not happy? Because we don't never do nothing. What do you want to do? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that shit.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's bad.
You
Yeah, I
can't
think
even make up what you want
So
to
if
do.
they take that out of the scenario, I think that would be better, you know. Because me and my wife got our own different things she do to entertain herself. I got my stuff I do. And then we do things together. You know, a lot of people won't do that. They want to sit up under each other and look at each other and, you know,
yeah, I think a lot of people are
water down.
getting married and getting into relationships looking for their partner to complete them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly.
Like,
That's what I mean.
nah,
Yeah.
I'm not here to complete you.
Nah,
You're
I
supposed to
complete
be like, what are you doing? Like, how you putting that on me? You know what I'm saying?
complete what I got with you. Shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't get to figure out your fucking problems and become
Right.
your problem solver. No.
Right. And then when you don't complete them, now you're the problem. Oh, he doesn't this and this and that.
Right.
Like, yo, hold up,
Now
man.
the blame is
Really?
all on you when we split up.
Yeah.
Now it's I did it. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
And so that's what the problem is, man. If they take all that shit out and everybody realize like you have your own little things you do. And I ain't saying going out and be partying every day, because that's not part of marriage. I'm talking about finding creative stuff to do on the weekends, a little stuff. You ain't gotta be going all day. You go for a couple hours. Even going to workout classes and stuff like that. Talk to other people, doing other little things. Go meet up with your friends, have a little brunch or lunch or whatever, chat it up, take your butt back home.
Yeah.
Little things. They don't do this, man.
Yeah.
You know,
And your partner get wore out trying to complete you. You know what I'm saying? I gotta hold me down. Now I gotta complete you mentally, emotionally. I gotta do all of this stuff right
and
here.
and that day you just want to rest. She want to be entertained.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
We ain't
I ain't
going nowhere.
around.
We ain't going nowhere. You ain't gonna do that.
Hey,
I'm bored. We ain't been nowhere in the last month. Well, damn, I just cut this yard. This is like 900 degrees out here. I'm dehydrated. My head hurt. Bugs done bit me. And you talking about going out. Man, shit. Why didn't you come out there and help me cut that grass? We could have went and did some shit. You know?
Oh
And
man.
we would have got it done in half the time.
Exactly. And I would be rested. I can go with
We
you.
would have been happy.
Right. I ain't gonna lie. And it's crazy because like my wife really don't do the yard work, but she wanted me to show her how to cut the hedges. So she would be able to, she wanted to contribute in something doing the yard. So she wanted to cut the hedges all the time. Like I showed her how to do it. And that's where she'd go. She went and bought this big ass thing to cut the hedges. No shit. It cuts it. She went and bought this big, like, look what I got. I was like, okay. I'm like, okay, but you didn't have to get something that big, but you know, that's how I could cut a tree. But hey, I let her do it. She wanted to do it. I let her do it, man. But she wanted to do it to help out some way
Yeah.
when she see me out there doing it and stuff. Cause my son ain't here no more, so I don't have to help. You know what I mean?
Right,
And I don't
right,
have a huge yard. You see I don't have a huge yard and stuff, but I just got hedges and shit around.
right. Yeah, at least you got somebody that's, you know what I'm saying, that's willing to help, man. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
lot of guys that I talk to on my channel, man, they just, I mean, I got to do this and I got to do this, man. Like, come on, man, you with the wrong one. If she don't even, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying she got to go out there and get into your, but something contributes some way, somehow.
Bring you
You know what I
something
mean?
to drink, have you something wait for you to eat when you
Yeah.
finish up. Because my wife don't come out, that's what she'll do. She'll
Mhm.
pick something, she'll call in something, have it delivered or whatever.
Right.
Like, you want something to drink, she'll come and check on me. You know, you good? She'll come. I'll see her stand the ground. You good? You want something to drink? Okay, I'll bring you something to drink. Go in there. When I finish, she'll have something. She didn't cook something or whatever, or ordered something. You know, and she'll be on the phone talking to her girlfriend. But see what I'm saying? It ain't that you had to do a lot. She just made a phone call, ordered some
Right.
food there. Boom. Okay, I'm good. Now I got something to eat after I done finished sweating my ass out in this damn sun and
Right.
bug bites. But
But age plays a factor in that.
right,
Age plays a big factor. Maturity.
right. And but see, the thing is, people don't got away from acts of kindness in marriages and relationships. They look at it as it's a burden on them to do an act of kindness for your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know,
They went and fix a man food on I'm gonna fix a plate, man.
yeah.
Like,
And just going back to the whole arranged marriages things, you know, nowadays, like especially here, I guess in the States or in the West, you have so many different, like let's just say so many different last names, right?
right.
Meaning that, my last name, his last name, but when you go into, different cultures where there are arranged marriages, you really don't have that many different because they're building such a huge legacy. You know what I'm saying? Imagine now if me, I'm married, I got 4 sons. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
My 4 sons get married. That's my name. That's my legacy. And so all it does is get bigger. You know what I'm saying?
And
All it
carry
does
it
is
on
get bigger and bigger. And you know what I mean? Because there are some areas, and I don't want to stereotype any body, right? Or any class of people or anything. But just with the job that I have, I make deliveries, I'm here and there, right? When I hear the name Patel, right? Just when I'm
You
you
know
laugh, but
exactly.
you know what I'm gonna say. Like, I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
I
Like,
got you.
I'm
I
just like,
got you.
yo, are you, I got a new business that is on my route, and I had a letter and they had to sign for it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what's your last name? Patel. And I was just like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's carries and carry, and
yeah,
they related.
like,
And they're related somewhere.
y'all are everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But that's how you build. You know what I'm saying? You build that legacy, so they understand the assignment. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I'm not gonna get in my feelings about this, that, and the third. Like, yo, this is legacy. You know. So
And like it was when I talk about that, like for some reason people ain't never thought about it. But a lot of young girls having kids, let's say with different dudes, I know a girl got 4 kids and each one of the kids got a different last name. Now, what sense do that make? She gave all the
Should have
kids
gave them all her last name to
yeah.
make sense,
She
But go
make
ahead.
more sense doing that, and that way it could at least the kids could have had her dad's or her family's name.
Legacy.
But you name each one of them kids after the dads.
but
And
isn't that a strategy to be able to get or to like show paternity or something like that? I hear women talking about that a lot of times. Like that's why they name the kid after the man, because
you
it's
gotta
then
have birth
easier to do
certificate and blood
paperwork.
test. You gotta have birth certificate and blood test to establish. Even with Social Security, you got to have birth
Okay.
certificate and blood test. Yeah. So if he passed and you got his name, like, okay, but still, he never acknowledged it on anything. You got to show blood work or birth certificate.
Oh, okay. Nah,
Yeah.
that's what I've heard, like, in the past, nothing recent, but, like, in the past, it was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, I don't know. I just know I thought that was so stupid. Like, and then going to school, the teachers came and put the families together because who is your mom? Oh, that's my kid too. That's my kid. Blackman, Puritan.
Wow.
yeah.
So,
Hey, I be doing that when I be going to people's house. Hey, I got a letter for you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, is this an apartment building? Like, why are there so many different last names here? It's just wild. But yeah, so that's why, there are no legacies like here, And I do believe, when you're looking at the big families that are here, right? Let's just say, I don't know, just something, I don't know, the Rockefellers, I don't know, the Hiltons. I don't know. I'm sure those are people.
there's always
I'm
some
sure those
cities
are families. I'm
gang.
sure that they already kind of know when they have their kids, they already know who their kids are gonna be, you know what I'm saying, linked up with
And
from
kids,
the
the
time
name
that they're in school and all the families, they network with one another and this and that. You know what I'm They already have the two
right,
the son and the daughter, they hang out, they play it. You know what I'm saying? They kinda I don't wanna say groom them because that's no, people just take the word groom and like, oh, but you know what I'm saying though, right? Is they started from young, like, oh, this is gonna be your boyfriend, this is gonna be your girlfriend, and oh, y'all like each other, right? And then you know what I'm saying? Just throughout school, it's like, yo, this is who I'm gonna be with, you know?
right, right. And people don't get it, man. They don't get it. I was talking to this dude. He had girls though, but I was talking to him, and I told him, I said, "Look, man, this ain't about all this. It's about legacy." And he's like, never thought about it that way. I said, "No, this is about legacy, man." I was like, "This is your bloodline continuing on. So you got to make sure you talk to your girls because they'll get with some knucklehead and name that baby after that knucklehead, and that knucklehead stay in jail." You know what I'm saying? So your grandson's name ain't gonna carry nowhere because ain't nobody gonna know him like that because the dad was a nobody. Y'all feel what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. So even my son, even my wife, she'll get certain things because people know me around here. Because I used to be in the military around this area, like recruiting stuff and doing certain things. I did a lot of other stuff. So they know. And my son just say our last name. Oh, that's so and so son. They
I,
got
I it's funny that you say that because um I found out that my soon to be ex-husband, his cousin does my hair.
mm,
Mm.
And it was
yeah.
funny how he found out that he was his cousin. I was the one who told him. So I go to the beauty supply, you know how they give you an account where you save dollars or whatever, whatever. And he said, I really never looked at your last name. He said, we could be cousins.
Oh
I
wow.
said, yeah, we could be. So he went down the family line and he started talking about his dad and this, that, and the other. I said, oh, you got some cousins that own a shop in the mall. That's exactly what I told him. I said, you're not kin to me, you kin to them. I'm Simmons by marriage,
Right.
but them is your people. You understand what I'm saying? So that's we in South Carolina, but they from North Carolina.
Mhm.
So you understand what I'm saying? Like that's why I always talk about siblings need to know each other.
Yeah, because the name, like I say, the last name triggered something in him, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
He
that's what I'm saying.
evidently
Like
have a big family, you know, and so it'll carry somewhere. But a lot of people don't think about that. I know one chick, it was weird. I thought they were married. They had been together like 20 years and never married, but she had three or four kids with the dude. And they gave all the kids his last name. She the only one in the family that had a different last name. And I asked, like, why you didn't get married? "Psh, I ain't marrying him. You don't have four kids with the dude. Been with him for 20 years and four kids. And all the kids got his last name. She the only one in the household that had a different last name. And then they split up.
I mean, there's a lot of people that choose not to get married. You understand what I'm saying? For one reason or another, they just choose not to be married. I mean,
Live with him.
marriage is work. It's not just being married.
But
Man,
like
how much
they
work
live
is it if you
together.
with the right
They live
person,
together for
man?
It's not.
20
It's not.
If
It's
you
not
with
if
the
you're with the right person. But this is the thing.
or if
She's
you're the
been
right person. You know what I'm saying? It
she's
ain't always the other
been with
person, you
him.
know
You're
what I'm
saying
saying?
she's been with him for 20 years. Apparently, he's not the right person, or she's not the right person, right? Some
Or
people
maybe
are
they
here
just
for
right for each other.
some right. Some people are here
She
for the
was
right
the one
now,
that kept getting out
right?
of
And
the
for
she was
the
the one that
comfort,
kept-
it's just like just being comfortable. You get comfortable.
Well,
And
this the
and
thing.
that's a bad way to continue to live. You understand what I'm saying? You're comfortable. You got to make yourself uncomfortable so therefore you can be comfortable.
Well, this the
Y-
thing. He was a provider for this family.
What does she do?
Worked part-time all the time and those what's them jobs you get
Temp.
yeah, temp services. And I didn't realize how much he was taking care of things until she left him. And then she almost went broke. Well, she did go broke. She going to the bread box and all this other stuff, getting food and stuff. But the thing is, you was with this guy, and the families are real tight families. Her family and and his family and stuff. So she didn't come from no messed up family.
Okay.
You've been with him for 20 years. Y'all oldest son is 19, getting ready to graduate high school. He was turning 19. You break up with him. The youngest is probably 8 or 7 at the time. You break up with the man, and then you go through the struggle. He didn't go through the struggle. He just missed his kids, but he didn't go through the struggle. But you had all these kids with him, 20 years almost with him, living in the same house, been doing all this trips and everything else. I mean, it's crazy. I actually thought they were married all this time. And then she broke it off with him because some other dude caught her attention. And she just walked away from it and then struggled for the next probably 4 or 5 years. And it's crazy. But you never married him, but when someone asks why y'all never got married, then you make it seem like it was him. But everybody used to see her online in the clubs all during the week, posting up, being in the clubs and taking month vacations and doing all kind of weird shit. Take a birthday. Her birthday would last for 30 days. She gonna party and pound for 30 days. Weird shit.
Look,
But
I got a
when
question.
they split up, that shit stopped. You ain't seen her do it since.
That's crazy. Let me ask you this: do you think marriages would last longer if families got involved with you know what I'm saying, the newly married couple, right? So what happens is a lot of times, right, you have a big wedding, you invite a whole bunch of people, right? Fine, festivities and all of this stuff, right? After all the smoke clears, nobody's around, and you're just there on your own trying to figure it out. Do you think marriages would last longer if you had the married ones in the family? You know what I'm saying? Like coaching,
Counseling.
yeah, like
Yeah,
coaching
I
them
think
through.
they
Like,
should though.
you understand what I'm saying?
Like
Not
the
just,
small
hey,
things. Yeah.
that's your business and y'all got to figure it out. No, because y'all don't know what y'all are doing. Y'all don't know what y'all up against. We made it look easy. You know what I'm saying? Mom and dad made it look easy. Y'all didn't know the struggles that we went through on the back end. Y'all
Right.
didn't know all of that. So y'all having this view of, oh, it's just supposed to be this
At
and
the
fun
time.
and yeah. And as soon as you have your first fight, oh, I want a divorce because you know what I'm saying? And you don't
Leave the
understand,
house.
like,
You know what I
nah,
mean?
it's
Yeah.
a lot that you got to go through. And
Yeah.
so, do you think they would kind of last longer if, you
Oh
know what
yeah.
I'm saying, the families were really involved and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's like what I said earlier, but that woman kept talking about the negative side of things, but never talked to somebody who actually been in a successful marriage. And I say successful where you don't see them arguing, fighting, but they working together to make this thing work. So you don't see people talk about that. They don't talk to them. They just talk to the people, the negative stuff that they don't know because they hear it from somebody else. So yeah, I think you should talk to someone when you're about to get married and let that woman sit down and tell you, like, look, it ain't gonna always be like this. It ain't gonna always be like that. Like, dude should be telling when a dude get ready to get married, don't expect that shit. You're gonna be jumping on her every night, pounding her all night. It's gonna last about a good 3 weeks. You're gonna have fun. After that, gotta go to work. She gotta go to work. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be tired. You gonna be tired. It's okay, man. Y'all work it out. Make sure y'all stay connected like that. Make sure y'all have y'all time. You know, you gotta tell them. Because they think they don't need to do these things. They don't know. They just don't know.
Let me just right quick. I counseled the beginning, throughout, and at the end, and it still didn't work.
Well, you
What do you mean you count? What do you mean? Hold up.
You was in counseling, or
Yes, we counseled. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't. I have my kids and stuff like that, but I didn't know nothing about marriage,
oh, okay.
right? So I was like, we need to do counseling.
Okay, so hold up. Let me stop you right there. When y'all did counseling, you did like a couples counseling
Yes,
or something like that?
yes.
Okay. Did y'all do any type of counseling on your own because you can try to work on a marriage, but if you're trash and he's trash, putting two trash, you know what I'm saying?
So this
Like
how it
those
was.
things don't work if
So
the
this how it
couples
was.
are
So this how
damaged.
it was. So I was like, yo, I want to do counseling, and he was like, okay, cool. So I did. We did separate counseling first, and then at some point we did couples counseling before we got married. This is before we got married. So we had counselors that were married to one another. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
The husband and wife, it was a husband and wife team.
Okay.
So because I'm the type of person that if you ain't been through nothing, you can't tell me nothing. I don't know why I'm like that, but that's just the way I am, right? So um we did that, and then we got married, and throughout the marriage, and every so often I go to a counselor and try to get per se refresher classes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end, before we said quits, you know what I'm saying? We tried counseling, and we still, I mean, at the end of the day, we still getting a divorce. So I don't know if it just, I don't know if I was, like, I can't really get into detail why we're getting a divorce, or because we're in the process of getting divorced. You know what I'm saying? So I can't put all that information out, but it just, at the end of the day, we still getting a divorce. It didn't work. And
Well,
sometimes I even guilt myself and say, I felt like a failure at my marriage. Because, like I said at the beginning, I did not get married to get divorced. I'm okay with getting a divorce
this your
as we
first
speak
marriage, right?
today. I feel good about my divorce, but I'm just saying, when I sit and think about it, I feel like a failure
Yeah,
because I didn't.
this your first divorce, right? This your first?
It's my only marriage. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
see, I've been married before too, but it didn't last about a year, and I felt the same way, that I felt like a failure. But when I sat back and look at all the things that was happening in this marriage, I was glad I got the F up out of it.
and that's how I am too. But
But my
some
second
days it'll
marriage,
creep
I've been
up on
married
me.
26
You know what I'm
years. You see what I'm saying? So my second marriage, 26 years still running, and we don't have no issues. And so some things are meant to just be a training aid. That's how I
saying?
look at it. Like I said, don't look at it as trauma. Just look at it as life. It was a training aid. So you still could be open to meet someone. You ain't married 5 people. You only married 1. So you could still be open to marry somebody else and be happy with that person. Now, your ex, he's gonna keep running. He's gonna keep running that road because
That
that's what he'll
Caribbean
do.
blood.
Yeah, because he got a slick tongue, he can get a woman. As long as you got a slick tongue and get a woman, you got the gift of gab, you can get a woman.
And it's not the first time I heard that. This is
Yeah,
about the
you
second,
can
third
always get a
time I
woman.
heard
Oh,
somebody
he
say
know he would never be without a woman, but he never gonna have a wife. You see what I'm saying? It's 2 different things. You can't keep a wife. Like one time I tell myself when I was younger, I didn't have a problem getting a woman. I had a problem staying with a woman. I would get bored quick because she wasn't the woman I really wanted to be with. She was just something I wanted to be with for the minute. So I had to teach myself to be longer in relationships. You see what I'm saying? So I was like Martin, get out, you wanna walk out the door? I just didn't have no empathy for him because I didn't feel like that for him, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
I had to as getting older, like I told my homeboy, I said, "Shit, I don't wanna be by myself old. I wanna find somebody before I get too old and can't really find that person I want." Now you like say selling. Yeah, but you gotta think, you only had 1 marriage, he had 5. So, you still open to meet somebody. You just gotta take that it's a bad marriage, it's a bad marriage, it's a bad marriage. Throw that shit to the side. I
I
learned
mean,
from
I do, but
yeah,
sometimes, like I said, it does creep up on me, and I still get that,
hey,
yo.
better shake it off.
Let
Shake
me
that
let me let me ask you this: would you have trusted, or do you think you would have been better off if somebody chose who they thought your husband should be?
I do.
Did anybody say don't marry him?
No. Like I said, I didn't know his family.
No, like your family. Did anybody say,
No.
uh,
They didn't interfere. They did not interfere. I chose, and like I said, I dated him for a while,
mm,
over a year, over 2 years.
he must have been good at keeping his shit, boy.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
like I
oh,
said,
look
he
at
didn't have no family out there
oh,
in
okay.
California. So, you know, it's my family, it's me and my family. You know what I'm saying? And so
That's crazy, man.
and I'm working, so, I don't hear no phone calls, I don't hear nothing, nobody saying nothing, whatever, whatever. So, I mean, it's crazy, it's crazy. I mean, and that's what I'm saying, like, I was at the point I think when I reflect and I think about it, I think I was at the point of, "Yo, I don't wanna die a old woman by myself." And I mean,
Oh, I'm not a lot of women saying that right now. And
I chose wrong. I chose wrong. I know I mean, at the end of the day, I chose wrong.
Wow.
yeah, I see with a lot of women, especially with kids, they would do that. And they just like, I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be with these kids and I need help. And they'll just marry somebody because he got a little bit of money or, a little status, and they're not happy with
I'm
the
married for potential.
potential. How old was he?
So you thought so you felt like he was gonna grow into
Who I thought he would be at the end of the day.
So you thought he had
okay, but
to be somebody.
yeah, so but that potential, was you looking at the potential like he's gonna grow into who he's gonna be, or were you looking at it like he's gonna grow into who I want him to be?
No, he's gonna grow into the person that he wants to be.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he did.
I don't know.
Hey, y'all.
I mean, I'm not,
Maybe he did, but that's just not who.
maybe,
You know what I'm saying?
like I said, maybe he outgrew me. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, so this is where I'm at. Like I said, it's that's a lot of years invested. You got to remember, you asked me a question, 5 or 15.
And
Did
what
I?
you said the 5,
I
right?
said 5.
A good 5.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I did jail time, for real.
Okay, so listen, I got a question, right? There's a difference between spending time and wasting time, right? Um, spending your time is doing something with your time that you think is going to be productive. Like while you're in it, you know that this is where you want to be and this is what I'm looking for and blah, 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 right? Wasting your time is when you're with somebody and you know it's not going the direction that you want it to go and it's just trash, but you're still staying. How much of the time was it time spent versus time wasted?
So, without giving too much detail, um, in
What,
the beginning, right? We were doing well. We, right? And something happened, and I decided to take the cross. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying?
no, I don't know what that means. Take the
So
cross.
I decided to take on the responsibilities, all the responsibilities,
You talking about like household, like
everything,
Finance and everything.
everything. And I'm going to put you in a position where you don't ever have to worry about going back to work. Right?
ever going back to work.
You ain't got to go back to work.
Start his own business or
Yes.
work for somebody else. Like
No.
start his own business.
You gonna have your own business.
Okay.
But we gonna set you up first where you getting steady income. So we gonna set you up. Like I said, I can't give too much detail. But I'm just saying we're gonna set you up to where you got steady income coming in. So we did that, right? And then at the end of the day, you're gonna have your own business. So I will have a 9 to 5, which I choose to have because I don't want to work for the business. But you will have your own business.
Now let me
So,
ask you, did
hold
you
on.
marry someone less than?
No, not knowing.
So-
Not knowing you're hurt. Not knowing you're hurt.
Okay, but hold on. I still don't. Did I get the answer to my question? Was you in it longer? Like which one? The time that you were, the entire time that you were in it, was it more
It was an
good
investment. It was
or
good. It was good.
it was more good
till
than bad?
yes, it was good till it wasn't good anymore.
Okay, all right. All right, I got you.
So I can't say 15 were good and 3 were bad. It was just sporadic shit
Right. Okay.
here and
I got-
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what's funny, man. When I tell people me and my wife been the years we've been together, I always get somebody to say, well, that don't mean it was good years. They always. Somebody said on our panel when I first told them that. I'll tell you about it, like, I ain't gonna say it on here. But that's came out
Negative.
their mouth, they said, "But it ain't like it's good yet."
Negative.
And
Just negative.
I can tell anybody, we ain't never had a bad year. Never. Now, we done had a bad week, a
A
bad
day.
day, a bad weekend, but we have never had a bad year. You see what I'm saying? That's natural to have. You can have that shit. You can have a bad month. So what? We human. You know what I'm saying? You're
Right.
not meant to be solid and okay all the time.
Right.
Because we're two different people. You're supposed to
Right.
have a low. That's how you grow. You know, if you get too, like you say, you
I
get too comfortable, you're not growing.
Right.
So
Right.
you gotta have somebody, and your personalities are different. So you're gonna run into that stuff, but it's what you want more than anything else. If you want to maintain your family and, like you say, your legacy and everything else,
Right.
it trumps all this other ignorant shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I don't think that that's what most people are getting into relationships for. I don't think that that's what most people are getting
Right.
into marriages for. I think it's like, yo, momentarily, I'm
I'm,
feeling you,
I'm in love. I
whatever,
want
woo,
nobody to
woo,
be with
and
you.
then boom, right? And then when everything ain't feeling how it used to feel, then it's like, yeah, okay, this is not working for me anymore. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And the laws and the way everything is set up, it's so easy to just, you
It
know what
is,
I'm
man.
saying, to just get a divorce, man. I promise you, I believe that the marriage rate would go down if it was harder to get divorced. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's just like, yo, it's really like just a relationship on paper. You know what I mean? Like you could just be in a long-term relationship, like, yo, just sign this paper right here. You know what I mean? Okay, we got a marriage certificate. Oh, okay, yeah, it's not working no more. Okay, rip it up. And you know what I'm saying, walk away. And then, the
I
fact
know
that
two
a
women,
lot of
man,
times,
that got into it with their husbands, ran up there, got a lawyer, started paperwork, divorce, served the husbands just to make him scared, to scare him. And then when the husband was like, didn't acknowledge it,
right, right, right.
he wouldn't cancel the shit.
Look, then, oh, well, I
Husband
expected
didn't
you
know.
to
He's like,
fight.
"Oh, okay, you want a divorce? Okay."
I expected you to fight for the marriage. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like, yo,
yeah,
hold up,
that's it
man.
Yeah, I'm
right
not
there.
doing that.
I'm not doing that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and that's what
saying?
they
Like,
did. Like, he didn't act like he even wanted to fight for the marriage. But
yeah,
you went
I'm
and got
not
a
doing
whole
that.
lawyer, got paperwork docked it up and served me at my job, and then you're gonna tell me, "Oh, you didn't wanna fight for the marriage." It sound like you wanted out.
You right. You right. I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not gonna fight. You
Yeah,
right. I'm
yeah.
not gonna fight. I'm not gonna argue.
Mm,
One day we gonna have a sit down. I'm gonna show you how simple it was for you to tell me you want a divorce. And I said, okay.
that's
I
it.
did not argue. I did not argue. I
Ain't
said,
going through
I
the
didn't ask
drama.
why. I don't want you to lie to me. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, okay, cool.
Yeah, you just know he don't
Cool.
wanna be with you no more. And you don't need nobody to tell you twice they don't need to be with your ass. They don't wanna be with
No, I'm not in the business of keeping nobody that don't want to be kept.
you. Yeah.
yeah, man. They man, they need to start doing some arranged marriages, man. There need to be some documentation, or you know what I'm saying? Somebody
Yo,
needs
do it for the
You know
old ladies.
you know what I'm saying?
But some
Something,
families can start that though. Because I'm real, like I said, I'm real hard on my boys about who they brought around the house. And I was telling, like, I went with the single, I always talk about it. Don't bring
Yeah,
no woman here with kids and stuff like that. Don't
yeah,
be married
yeah.
to one with
That's how
kids.
my mom's was. She was like, "Yo, I don't even. Do I have to even have this conversation with you?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good with it." You know what I'm saying? So,
You had a good situation come out of yours because the father is still in the little girl's life and stuff. So, but a
yeah.
lot of
And that wasn't until I was 40 years old.
and
You
you're
know what
40,
I'm saying? I was 40 years old, man.
but see, I tell people, like I said, I'll be always specific when
Matter
you
of fact,
just
I was
coming out
over
of
40.
school, yeah, graduating college and all that. Yeah, no, you don't need to do that. You 40, whatever, 35, 40, that's on you. You're a full adult, you know where you're at in your life. But coming out of school and graduating, just getting your life started, you'll need to be with someone who already have a family. You got to get established. You can't take care of that. And that's gonna put you back years and then y'all break up. I just seen it with one of my homeboys' kids. He dated a girl going into college. He was in love with this little girl from high school. Dated the little girl. The girl moved her in with him. That first year freshman, they got an apartment. The parents had paid for it. The little girl moved in with him. Now, instead of him exploring the college life on campus, he up there living like a married man with this girl. Got into his senior year, she broke up with him. Now he's in the second half of his year. He done missed out on that college experience because he up there trying to play husband to this little girl. She broke up with him and got with some other dude. Like it wasn't nothing. And he looking stupid, you know, now. Like, bro, go enjoy your life. You're too young for that. You know, enjoy your life. You got plenty of time to do all that stuff. But that new love, and then the parents be following it up because they don't want the kids to be upset. I don't care if you upset with me. I really don't, because I'm still
Yeah.
gonna lay that shit down.
Yeah.
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 You
I
be
tell
upset.
mine, I know y'all ain't gonna talk to me for a couple of days,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I'ma
okay.
say what I'ma say. I don't
Don't
care.
bring nobody here with no kids. I tell them. It ain't gonna be a pretty sight. Say, I ain't gonna be mean to her, nothing like that, but don't bring her back.
Oh, I'll put you out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
have done it.
Yeah.
I
I
have
will be
done it.
mean to her, but don't bring her back. Ain't gonna
Mm.
be accepted. No.
I told my son, "Don't bring that girl up in here."
Yeah, we need
And
some
he did,
arrangement.
and
We
he
need
thought he talking
Yeah.
about, "You supposed to be out." No.
But
I
if you
told her
don't
to
put
get the
that
hell
type
out.
of pressure out to your kids and know this, then they will come home with anybody. That's why you see a lot of little girls come home with dudes, don't have jobs, smell like weed, can't even speak to the parent. "Hey, how you doing? When you take that father's hand, that shit better not be like soft and all loose. You know what I'm saying? When I grab your hand, how you doing? No, come here, man. Come here. What? No. Matter of fact, going out the door. If I had a little girl, she would hate me. God bless me with boys for a reason. Because if I had a little girl, she would hate me. I'm telling you. Because every little boy come through that door, it ain't gonna be a pretty sight, man. You got to come correct, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You ain't gonna come in here smelling wrong, looking wrong, pants ain't right. You need to come in and know how to talk. Don't be mumbling. Speak. Complete sentences. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't be bruh me and all this shit. Nah.
Right.
Don't bruh me.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? No, I don't know. No, you can't do that with me. No.
We not even in the same age bracket.
No.
Yeah.
I see a lot of mothers now got their sons calling them bro, and they calling them bro. Bro, get in there. Man, bro. How you let your son start calling you bro?
Yeah, it's crazy. Because you know what? You have too many parents that are adapting to the child. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having their child, you know what I'm saying? Adapt to the parent. You
Y'all
know what I
see
mean?
they got the eating
They want
thing
to be
now.
friends.
When they
Yeah,
did
doing
that
TikToks
eating,
together and, you know, all of that stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, they trying to be the kids, man. They trying so hard to be with the kids. You see how that they call it the hood prom stuff when they all dressed up and all this, spending $4,000 and $5,000 to go to the prom. I noticed a couple of the moms was dressed up with their sons for the prom.
I
Why
know that some
you
of the
dressed up?
fathers.
Say what now?
Uh,
I don't want to talk about the dude. I don't
Nah,
want.
we
What?
not even. Hold up,
What?
look.
Ain't
Nah,
that
we not even gonna do that. That's for a whole nother.
Yeah,
That's a
we
whole
ain't
nother.
gonna talk about that
Yeah,
because he just aimed the shit out of every father walking the street,
yeah,
standing
that's
up there
crazy.
looking stupid like somebody bought that suit for him.
Yeah, that
No stand with him.
that situation was crazy. But nah, I just wanted to have, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to have that conversation about, you know what I'm saying, prearranged marriages, since it did come up in another conversation. And you know what I'm saying? I really thought about it, and nah, I think
Yeah,
it's
you get deep with it,
I think it's a
something.
viable thing. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
you get deep as we talking about it, you make you think about it like, you know, that is a pretty good damn thing though.
Yeah.
So you don't have your kids just getting with anybody.
Right. And you know, again, man, it goes to you knowing the family. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It could be a family that you grew up with, that, you know what I'm saying, you knew or whatever. And so you know the
They
family
good
background,
people.
the family history. You understand what I'm saying? It's not
Right,
just they just bring somebody in, you know, off the street or whatever.
Absolutely.
You know
like
what I'm
they say,
saying? So,
what they say, good crop.
yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he comes from good crop, or what is
yeah,
it? Probably some
yeah.
shit like that. They say.
Like I said, I do believe a lot of families with money. That's you know what I'm saying. Basically, what they do. You know what I'm. They grew up in
They
the
do.
same neighborhood, went to the same school. You know, just are
Like
around. You know,
recommendation
the same
yeah.
circles, and they. It's like all pre-planned. It's all pre-planned. You know,
Like
in my opinion. So it's not put out there like this is an arranged. You know what I'm saying? But they're they're pushed. You know what I'm saying? Like that direction, and
Like,
they kind of know what it's gonna be. He's gonna be a doctor, she's gonna be a this, and they're gonna be that, and y'all are gonna do this, and we got a trust fund set up for y'all, or you know what I'm saying? We got this already set up, the
give
house,
them
and
a house, give them a whole
you know what I
house.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's funny when they go to college. We a lot of mothers tell their daughters go to school, get an education, and you don't need a man. They tell their daughters, get your education and find you a husband. Say you didn't go to school, I say you went to school, get an
right, you
education,
didn't go to
but
school,
your
right?
primary job is to go to school and get you a husband.
Get your yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where they're finding their
Rain
husband.
before the
Yeah,
spring.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they call it, rain before the spring. And it was crazy when I heard that term, and when my son graduated, it was about maybe 6, 7 white girls. All of them like they could be little cheerleaders. Pretty little white girls. All of them were holding their rings up. They were already engaged. They was already engaged, and they engaged like engineers and all this because Clemson was big with engineers and all this stuff and some other stuff. So they were all engaged to guys coming out of school that's gonna have, like you said, one of them promising careers already set up. And that's why I tell people, like, you gotta pay attention to some people, how they move and what they're doing with their kids. They setting their kids up to
Yeah.
be successful in their marriage or under somebody. They're not sitting there. A lot of these girls they go to school, become teachers. Teachers pay ain't that high.
Right.
They ain't gonna teach about 2 years, and then they gonna stop and homeschool those kids.
Mhm.
And the husband gonna take care of everything. They all do that. They'll be at home, and next thing they know, they go into their workouts, they go and do their little volunteer shit. They hanging out over here, hanging out over there, and that's all they do. Is lock thing frozen? Oh, I thought
No, I'm
oh,
here. I'm listening to what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm interested. I'm it makes sense to me. I mean,
It is, and I told mine the same thing. I said, "Hang out, have some fun." My son, I said, "Enjoy yourself." I told him, "Do not go to college with a girlfriend." I did. I told him, and I said, "When you get about your 11th, I'm not 11th, but your junior year, start looking at somebody that you promised they got something going on." And now he met a young lady that was her. She was in her last year that was going to school to be a lawyer, and she went to law school while he was in his senior year, and they still together to today. So she done finished out a year working as a lawyer, and now he working in banking. And they got their own little place in Greenville doing good. My other son, he's with a young lady who just finished school becoming a surgeon. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just got to put it in them. And they know
Yeah.
what you expect. They'll do it. They just
Yeah.
going to put themselves in that position because you got to be in a position for somebody to want you. Somebody like that to want your kids. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it ain't that, no, and they didn't come from money. They just smart girls. But but they didn't. They
they
didn't come
don't
from
want
money.
the right now girl. They want the long term
But
girl.
they looking at somebody that can be in their space, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so they gotta know how to talk, they gotta know how to do this, know how to do that. And it's crazy because my son have more interaction with the public than my youngest son does, than his girlfriend, who's the lawyer. So she get brought around to all this stuff he got going on, which is wild. But you know what I'm saying? But the young people doing it, man. And I tell people, I was like, so I mean, and somebody asked, like, so how did you manage to get them to do that? I said, because I ain't accept nothing less. I said, I told you, you can't bring that around here like that. You just can't. And if you put it in them, they'll listen.
Yeah.
But you gotta start
Absolutely.
out early, same thing with school and everything. Make them go to school, get good grades. Your job is to go to school, and that's it.
Yeah.
Ain't no get a job. No, your job is to go to school and get good grades. That's it.
Yeah.
Period. That's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna wrap this one up, man. If anybody got anything else they want to add, this is the opportunity to do it. If not, I'm gonna cut this one short. I appreciate y'all for jumping on this. I think it was a good conversation.
Yeah, yeah. It was a little
Um,
deep. I thought we gotta start putting that into play. Maybe have some more conversations like that to put that
Yeah.
into the culture's mindset. And maybe somebody that mess around and listen is like, maybe I need to get my kids on that track. You know,
yeah, absolutely. Because if you just throw them out there, you know what I mean? It's no,
anybody get them, man.
yeah, yeah,
Kids coming out of college and getting with dudes on the damn street. You done gave up all the opportunities, all the dudes that's doing something for them in their life is at that university. They leave the university and go back home and start dating old bud on the street out here. and fall in love. Now you got this education, and now you got to drag this clown around with you that working at the plant. You see what I'm saying? So no, it ain't gonna match up.
It be women's emotions, man, that really, you know what I'm saying, kind of mess them up. Like
Yeah.
they know the logical decision, but they just gonna go with, you know, whatever it is that they feeling,
But
not
the
what it
parents
is
don't
that,
allow
you know, it
because
should be.
they don't want to hurt the kids' feelings.
That's why I said
The parents
potential.
allow.
That
Yeah.
potential is for real some shit. Potential, because
And
because
some
you
dudes can give you a good
because at
idea.
the end of the day, you're saying I don't think I have any other choices. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
When you date potential,
You got choices. You don't want the
Well,
best
maybe you was
option.
feeling that because you was already looking at your age and all this, like you was on your
right,
leg.
right,
You had
right.
you
So
said you
that's
hit
what
the
I'm saying.
wall,
What
you
I'm
hit the
saying.
wall. Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
she was already thinking that. I mean, I don't know what you had going on in your life around that time frame, but you got really
Hell,
that. I mean, but I don't know.
life.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, life is today. Is life is happening today too. So I mean, I'm just saying. I just thought, like I said, potential.
I mean, I still hear women that's 50 years old saying they wish they would get married. They wish they could get married to somebody. You know, I guess it clicked in their mind now. You know, I got a bunch of nieces that ain't married. They almost 50.
They
And
got
about 5
children.
years ago, yeah, all of them got 2 or 3 kids. And about 5 years ago, they all talking about they ain't nobody 5 years, 3 years ago. We don't need
Somebody
no
they want to
man.
get married. They don't need no man.
We don't need no man. We gonna get our
Oh
businesses.
no. Okay.
I said,
Because
okay.
I don't. I ain't gonna never say that. I
Last
don't need no man.
year, oh, they all looking for a man. Shit done got real. Okay.
Hmm.
Your ass get older and older. Them opportunities stop. The dudes with quality, they gonna stop knocking.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get somebody. It just ain't gonna be what you want. Quality be walking out the door. You gonna have quantity when you get older, not quality for some of you.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
man.
that's
I'm
crazy.
done with it tonight. I might go get me something to eat.
All right, I appreciate y'all, and man, catch y'all the next time. I'm gonna start streaming a little bit more often too. So
I just said that to
yeah.
myself, man. I was like, I think I'm gonna start streaming more than just recording it. I think I'm just gonna start streaming.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, just keep me posted. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna cut this one short. Peace.
All right, brother. Y'all take care.
All right.